time for the Salt and Sass Podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 79. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Lovely to have you here. We're rolling, Mandi, right?
No, it's good. We're recording on all the things, I hope.
Magic. You're a tech wizard, Mandi.
It
is lovely to have you working behind the scenes.
Oh, boy.
So we've got a good show planned, but a lot of like random stuff to talk about, actually, which for us is saying something because we're pretty freaking random, but you know, that's
Guilty.
okay. That's okay. Should I kick off and start just talking about a couple video games, and then we'll talk about what you got, we'll talk about what I got, we'll talk about some games we've been playing, we'll serve up a game pie, which is amazing because people are chiming in with their game pie ideas. I love it.
No, it's so good. I'm so excited.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, let's do that. I got lots.
Okay. Well, I will start off. Of course, we are a board game and card game podcast, but we're Omni gamers, and we always like to talk a little bit about the digital video games that we've been playing. And although by the time this drops, it'll be after the Steam Autumn Sale ends. I got hit by the Steam Autumn Sale a little bit.
Me too.
So a couple of games I picked up and have been playing are the Duck Detective series. There's two of them.
So good. So good.
Oh my gosh. So cute. Love them. Little point and click adventures where you're walking around. Great sense of humor, great art style, animation style. It feels amazing. That's a lovely distraction to entertain you while you're going as you're solving those cases in the Duck Detective world. And then I also just picked up Reus 2, Reus 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a sim world builder where you've got this globe and then you terraform certain areas, and there are 6 like gods that terraform. Somebody's the forest god and somebody's the mountain god and that kind of thing. And then you plant different things or establish different little habitats. Not actually normally my kind of game. I'm not a huge Sims person, but what I'm liking about it, one, it's got a really cool aesthetic, but two, it's got kind of a puzzly element where you have to optimize what you're doing. So for example, if I'm planting blueberries in the forest, but then I put a rock mountain zone next to the forest, you might find spots that are like they benefit from being adjacent to plants, or a plant that gets benefits from being adjacent to a mineral or things like that. And then you have population that gets added, and they have different specialties, so you can kind of pick and choose as you're going through there, and you're just kind of building up this little society in this little world. So I'm enjoying exploring it. I'm way behind the scenes. There was a Reus one I never tried. Reus 2 has thousands of positive reviews, so it's not like this is hot tip. This is old stuff. But it was 40% off. I'm like, sure, why not? You know?
Great deal.
And then a little while ago, I was talking about how there was just kind of this huge splurge. I don't know, whatever. Splurt. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Of word games that were rogue-like. And there was a Wordotro, a Vertigo, and Wordplay. And I've tried them all now. And I got to say, the one that's kind of risen to the top for me is perhaps one of the more straightforward ones. It's Wordplay. So I've been playing this one a ton, Mandi, where you get a grid of letters, you form words. The longer the word, you get bonus points, but you can also, as you get a certain amount of experience, you can change the tiles. You can give the tiles special abilities. You can gain extra special abilities for things like that, like score extra points if you've got double letters or things like that. I'm really liking it. It hits that sweet spot for me in terms of being interesting and being compelling as you progress and gain powers, but also not being too complex and kind of bogged down by surrounding stuff. So Wordplay, I've been enjoying that one too. But beyond that, that's kind of what's been going on here digitally. What about and Hades 2? Because Hades 2.
Did you get it? I'm waiting. It's regular price. You know how I roll.
I'd put in over 80 hours in the pre-release on Steam. Over 80 hours.
That's wild.
So yeah, I got it.
Oh,
anyway,
I gotta wait till it goes on sale. You know how I operate.
I know how you are.
Well, those are some good games. The Wordplay is still on my list. It just hasn't been discounted enough for me to buy it. But I'm keeping an eye on it.
I know you.
So I've been playing a lot of lately, oddly enough, Mythwrecked. I have to say that again. Wrecked.
All
Wow,
right, I'm looking that one up. I don't know that one.
Yeah, and it's actually it's like it's like one of these kind of adventure style games. So you've been I guess you're on this island and you're like, "Oh, I need to get home." But in order to get home, you're on this island with the different gods. So, I'm trying to I was going to say Prometheus. That's not what I meant to say. Not the god of fire. That's not what I was going for. Ares. My gosh, why is my brain just blanking? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure it's the Greek gods I'm thinking of. Because you know how there's Roman and
Ares,
Greek.
Apollo.
I haven't gotten to those ones yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Greek.
Okay.
But in the game, you crash on this island, and then the island is filled with, the gods of the island. And in order for you to kind of progress in the game, you have to do them favors. So there are kind of like little puzzles or trying to find some of the things that they're looking for. You bring them back to them and they're like, "Oh, I need you to do X, Y, Z." So you're building friendships with the gods, and you're trying to max out those friendships so then you'll be able to, which is kind of like, well, this is trash. Do all these favors before they'll help you get back home. But I'm having fun with it. Like it's a lighter game, but I sometimes just want those types of games. It's
absolutely
a break from
everything.
I actually think you would like it. So that's probably the one I've been playing the most, and I've been playing that on Game Pass. Well, you know how I roll. I mean, I have Game Pass. I might as well use it. And speaking of Game Pass, had a little discussion with Suzanne about this offline, and I have it. I have like the ultimate whatever the one. So you get all the things, PC games, EA's, like all the games. I know that's not for everybody. The price point on that's a little bit higher. And I know, Suzanne, you had it for a while as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, Xbox Game Pass had a price hike. And I mean, I get it. People are upset. I feel people in Canada are less upset about it. If you're like me, because at the top tier, I think you were paying $24.99 anyway, and mine's going to increase to $33. So it's not that much of a difference, but I could see people who are maybe at, $17 and are like, "Oh, it's like $30 now." That's a lot. So I totally get that. But I also play, like, Suzanne, I play a lot of games on
You get your money's
Game Pass.
worth. You do.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So for me, I find it works for me. But there are people who are maybe playing 1 or 2 games a month. That's expensive. You're better off. I could see why people would say, "Hey, that's a little too much for me. I'm going to cancel." Apparently, there are quite a few people canceling because of the price hike. I get it. In these current times, not everybody can afford to do that. So when I talk about these games, I am mindful that when I say they're on Game Pass, I understand that not everybody can now, going forward, potentially afford that. But if you do have it, that they are there for you to play. That's how I play them, because I'm not going to buy them. Sorry. I just have too many games to be doing that. So I just want to let you all know that's what's going on with the Xbox Game Pass world. A little sad, but that's what's happening. Something else quickly I want to talk about before I get into the last thing. I got a new printer. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Okay, here's a question for you, Mandi.
Sure.
And I think most of our listeners out there are of a certain age. Let's say I don't think we have a lot of like 19-year-olds listening to the podcast right now, which is fine. But but I have been teased because I also own a printer. Now I don't have a nice shiny new one, but I've been teased. It's like, is it an old person thing to own a printer and young folks don't?
That's valid, actually, because if you really think about it, when we were growing up, everything was pen to paper, pencil to paper. Like you wrote things down in a notebook. Do you know what I mean? And now I feel a lot of people do things digitally. I mean, I like things on paper. Like we were just talking about solo RPGs. I'm able to print off a PDF of it now, and with this new laser printer I got, it prints quite quickly versus the inkjet. P.S. Didn't know inkjet ink dried if you didn't print for a while, so no wonder I was having problems. So annoyed. I was like, I can't with this right now. So I had the printer for like 10 years. It was great, but the ink was driving me nuts. So fabulous. Love it. Like, it's so good. It's a brother. Oh, love it. However, Suzanne brought up a really good point. Ink ain't cheap. And getting a laser is not going to make that any easier, because laser ink is even more than inkjet. I mean,
the toner.
Or the toner, excuse me. Yeah, it's wild. And the capacity, what is it? They call it the yield, I guess. It prints up to like 2,300 pages or something like that. But if I'm printing off 300-page RPGs, I might want to slow down a little there. And then the paper, I like that nice paper. It adds up, but I think in the long run, it's still a little cheaper for me to print off. You know what I mean? I'm able to get those PDFs and print them off.
Well, and sometimes you don't need to print every page of a book, like, and things like that. And I think that's great. To me, that sounds a little bit like the way you use Game Pass. Game Pass wasn't worth it to me because I just didn't I wasn't using it.
Right.
But for you use it all the time. And it's the same with the printer. Like knowing how you use like your solo RP, you're going to get a lot of use of that. So it's totally worth it.
And I still have my Remarkable 2. So I still have like I print the books. I like a physical book when I'm doing RPGs. And then the actual sheet that I'm using, character sheet, stuff like that, I use that in my e-ink notebook. So I'm not having to print paper for that. So I'll kind of use a mixture of the two, technology and paper. Anyway, thought I would share. If anybody else is on the printer hunt, let me know and I'll let you know the one that I got. I got it on sale. It is a newer one. Jeez, it printed so I was like, oh my gosh, I was so excited. It printed so fast. My other one would have been chugging along for a while.
You love your new toys.
Oh,
so
I do.
Much.
It's great. Okay, last thing that I'm going to talk about. This is actually more board game-ish related. And so this is something that Asmodee, for those who don't know, I have done work with Asmodee Canada before. They had asked me if I would talk about it on the podcast. So being transparent, that is something that I had a connection with them about. And I said, hey, I will. And only because it's super fun. But right now, Asmodee, it's their 30th anniversary. So I don't know if anybody knew that. And they have something called Asmodee World. Ooh, super fun. And it reminds me of like almost like what did you say? There was a game, Sam.
Micro Macro,
which I've seen, but I've never played, but it has that kind of vibe. So it's like a one-of-a-kind seek and find adventure. So I think that's very similar. Yeah. And the illustration was done by Charlotte Hughes. And apparently this took like 250 hours of artwork to do this. It's so, I'm like,
I believe it. I believe it.
You know it's fabulous. So if you're watching the video, I'll try to pop that up here somewhere so you can see it. Maybe if I can find the picture, I can send it to Suzanne. We might, I don't know, can we post it in BGG? I don't know if that's
100%.
Oh, great. Okay. So those listening could also check it out as well. Some of you may already know about this. I think emails were sent out about it. So this is the seek and find adventure that you can play. And so this is the artwork that you'll see. So quickly, here's how it works. We're gamers. We want to know the rules, right? So you're going to, if you don't have an account, you go sign up an account and I'll tell you how to do that. Or you may have an account from playing games with Asmodee. You choose a quest, explore the world, solve the puzzles, earn XP. And it literally is that easy. Like I showed you, Suzanne, offline. Like
yeah, and I'd never seen it before, honestly. And then you showed it to me for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is charming. Yeah.
Super, super cute. And they have different levels of difficulty. But, you know, the more puzzles you solve, ideally, try not to take hints because you lose XP if you do. But hey, I needed a few hints, so I was all right with it. But you'll score points, right? So you're going to climb those global rankings. And this is where you want to get on that podium. Or maybe like me, just play for fun. And there are 3 competitive seasons. So it's not just like a one-shot thing. And it's going to lead us up to like a grand finale on the 31st of March. And those top 3 champions will win some very cool prizes. So some of the ones here, there's,
I didn't know that part of it at all.
I neglected to mention that.
Oh, wow.
So there's the ultra rare Splendor Black Box, which I've never even heard of. So I'm curious now. I actually am very curious about this. A giant Star Wars super team set. So these are going to mean some things to people. These are not things I'm super familiar with, but I feel like they're obviously super cool because that's why they're like top prizes
for this whole thing. Wow.
Yeah, some original artwork by Julienne Delval and Charlotte Hughes, who made the kind of Seek Your Art adventure, which I think is cool.
Oh, that
super fun. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Who doesn't love getting some really cool artwork? And then wait, this is the big one too. Plus goodies and 6 months of premium Board Game Arena access. I don't have premium Board Game Arena access.
Nice.
I'd be down for that. So
nice.
There's that. So that's in a nutshell what it is. Check it out. It literally takes just like a couple minutes to play. Sometimes I'll play at my lunch hour. And you can do that at asmodeeworldofplayers.com. So there you go. So I said I would share that with listeners. And I did a stream actually not too long ago if you actually want to see how it works. And it is on the YouTube channel and on our Twitch channel. There you go.
Me. Oh no. I wanna win some art. Like I gotta admit, Splendor Black Box. Oh, I'm sure it's very cool.
Sure.
And
just
great.
might not be your thing, right?
I've got a lot of games, but original art would be so cool. Oh my goodness.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. That would be really rad. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that information.
My pleasure.
I think that, Mandi, you were going to skip crowdfunding, and I was going to not highlight a campaign because something's happening in the crowdfunding world.
This is like, I'm curious to hear about this because Lord knows I don't need to be spending any more money right now, but I really want to know what's going on.
Yeah. For folks out there who are aware, Kickstarter, a while ago, Kickstarter, some of the Kickstarter employees unionized. So they have the Kickstarter United Union.
Oh, I didn't know this.
And as of October 1st, the Kickstarter Union is now on strike. So you can find out more. You can search up Kickstarter United. Union number is OPEIU local 153. That'll be in the show notes and things like that. And on Instagram and on Blue Sky and things like that, they're talking about it. So that's just look up Kickstarter United. So a couple of things about the strike. So what they're primarily striking about are two kind of employee rights. One is they're fighting to codify what is a 4-day work week. And that is something that they had in their culture for a while, but now I guess leadership's trying to pull that away. What's interesting is that like the story is that a number of people were hired on, like, you get a 4-day work week. And like the CEO has done speeches and like TED Talks where he brags about the 4-day work week and the benefits of it, but now they're trying to pull that back. So, it's not like, oh, they only want to work 4 days. No, it's like, it's kind of a thing that leadership made a thing.
Yeah.
And then they are also fighting for living wages for their lowest paid employees, that there are roles within the company that are critical to the functioning of the company, but aren't necessarily seen as highly skilled labor. And so they aren't paid as well. And hey, if you're working a full-time job and you don't make enough to live in your city, that can be tough. So those are their two big things. Now, a few details about the strike. So they are on strike. The first thing I got to say off the top here, and selfishly so, is the union is not asking campaign runners or backers to boycott the platform. They have specifically said this many times. They're like, we are not asking you to do that. What we are asking you to do is write a letter to Kickstarter leadership, and they have links. There's like a bit.ly with like a link that you can write a letter to leadership. And there is a solidarity fund that you can donate funds to if you want to support the union while their workers are out on strike. So basically they're asking you to speak out and they're asking you to help support the union while they're there. And they are not asking for a boycott on the campaign runner or thing, which is good because selfishly, I am launching a Kickstarter next week.
Yeah.
And you have to keep in mind, we put these contracts in place months in advance, right? We are committed to this campaign, and there are a variety of reasons why we can't delay. Like at the end of the year, if you can't, like, we don't want to run a Kickstarter over Christmas holiday, right? Or whatever. You don't know how long the strike's going to last.
Absolutely.
And you don't so I'm just pointing that out. People have to do what they think is right, but look up Kickstarter United, listen to what the union itself says about boycotting or not, and the way that you can take action to support their efforts. So that is Kickstarter United and the Kickstarter Union. And who knows? I mean, honestly, knock on wood, by the time that this episode airs, I'm hoping the union and Kickstarter have come to terms, right? And that people are listening to this right now going, well, that's outdated. That's what I'm hoping. But if it's not, if unfortunately Kickstarter Union is still on strike, please do go look at Kickstarter United.
I had no idea. So it's nice to have, hear what's going on. So yeah.
Mandi, I got to say, I think we are living up to our New Year's resolution of trying to bring more industry news to the podcast. So just like this.
No, it's great. And I mean, I'm learning a few things along the way, so I'm not mad at it.
That's what we do. We make the other person spend money and learn things. Go figure. Alrighty. Well, with that, we do have lots of games to talk about. Oh my gosh, so many games. It's great. But we're going to talk about a couple games each and then serve up a delightful game pie. Does that sound like a plan, Mandi?
Sure does. All right. I'm rocking out, getting ready to talk about, here we go, Suzanne. This is just for you. Ham Helsing.
Sorry, what now?
Ham Helsing.
What now?
Okay, so I thought Suzanne might like this. Ham Helsing.
Are you saying Ham Helsing?
Yeah, like oink oink ham.
Oh my good gravy. All right. I gotta. I wish I had like an adult beverage right now to go through this one.
And here's the thing. I didn't realize that Ham Helsing is, I think it was like a series or a graphic novel.
Okay.
I didn't know that. It was actually one of the people that I play board games with. He mentioned it to me. I'm like, I had no idea. But after I see the art and play the game, I'm like, yeah, I could totally see
Got it. Got it.
why this would be, part of like a series or something. I also realized I didn't put the price down. So as I'm talking about it, Suzanne,
you're gonna make me search up Ham Helsing. Do you know what this is gonna do to my algorithm? I'm just gonna have pig puns everywhere now.
It's great. You'll be fine. Or, our listeners will just send a few for you.
Great.
Not suggesting you do that. Wink, wink. Okay.
No, it's $60 US.
Thank you. There you go.
Oh, it is. I just looked at the cover though. It is cute.
It's cute.
Oh, it's super cute.
Yeah. And the $60 US price tag. So I'll explain that because you're like, that might seem like a lot for this type of game, but the acrylic standees and things like that. It makes sense. I know, fancy. So Ham Helsing is designed by Justin DeWitt and art is by Rich Moyer and it's published by Fireside Games. But I think I saw something recently that potentially, is it All Play? Potentially might be picking it up. Anyway, I saw there was another publisher.
All Play is doing a lot of distribution. So All Play is trying to kind of become like Flat River was or Luma is, where they of are or Hachette. They're like Hachette, right?
Okay.
Where they have publishers that they distribute, basically.
Okay, because I did see that, so that makes more sense to me. Understood. Yep. Okay, it's for it's 1 to 4 players, and it plays in about 60 to 90 minutes. I'd say for the first game, maybe a little bit longer than that, but you get the idea. And so on BGG, it actually does say that it is based on the best-selling graphic novel, and I quote, about a reluctant monster hunting pig, Ham Helsing. That's literally how it's described. So the game is cooperative and they have a whole bunch of different characters and the names get me every time. There's Ham, Ronan, Malcolm, and Lobos. And those are the characters.
Oh my gosh.
In the game. It's so funny. And the game is has a deck crafting system. So for those of you who are familiar with Mystic Vale or those kinds of games where you get to like tuck clear kind of cards into sleeved cards and like to make them better. It's that sort of system.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah. No, I'm dead serious.
Look at what I'm reviewing right after you. It's the same thing. That's sorry. I had no idea.
Noticed that.
Okay. Wow. Anyway. Okay.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it says right there.
That's so random. Okay. Go ahead.
I love it. No, this is great.
Our brains are so weird. Mandy.
We're in tune. So that's so funny.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So cooperatively, you're trying to, take out lots of challenges and baddies on the board. And before we even start with that, you'll have your main board and it's kind of separated out into like, think of like a map kind of like areas that you can move to, mapped out. And then there are places for like tokens that potentially are going to be going on these spaces. Some are good, most are bad, some are double bad. So you'll see when we get to those spaces and they spread. So kind of think of like a disease. They kind of spread into other areas. That's so great. But then you also have help from other characters in the game and other players will be able to help you as well. Each character has their own deck of cards. And so these are like your starting ones that are sleeved. Eventually you'll be able to upgrade them. There's like a little market area where you're going to be able to eventually purchase some of these cards. These kind of clear cards to slip into your starter type cards when we get there. And you have your player board, and that's going to track kind of your stats and then a place to put your cards and things like that. So everybody gets a character, grab your starting deck, and each of your characters have special abilities. Oh, I should probably tell you. The goal of the game is to beat our little friend there, the main baddie in the game, before he takes you out. You have X amount of rounds to do so. Harder than you think. And it starts off a little slow trying to get your character leveled up. So that's a whole thing. So after you get your starting deck, you've got a special ability. Each character is different. On your turn, you're going to use the symbols on the cards in your hand to get to the new locations because you only have so much movement. And those are based on the symbols on the cards that you're playing. And then some of them will also have special actions, which will allow you to do that as well. You get to defeat minions. And again, you'll have different icons to determine like how much you're going to attack. Oh, did I mention you have to roll dice when you attack? Potentially, when you roll these dice, if it matches the color, whatever color it rolls, those don't count. So if you only had, let's say, yellow for attack, oh, well, looks like that doesn't count at all. So then you wouldn't be able to attack anything. So you don't want whatever gets rolled on the dice, you don't want that color to match things that you have. So it's basically blocking it, right? So that's super important. Overrunning a location can be really bad when there are too many tokens that come on a location. So after you've played your cards out, There's like a process where, if you've attacked, there's some special prizes or things that you can get for doing that attack based on the color of attack that you used that went through. You'll get some bonuses for that. Then there's an area you have to see the token wise, like, okay, now we're seeing where you're standing, where the monster is, and you have to put tokens based on that. And you can have areas that overrun and then pour into another section. It's bad when things overrun, and some of these tokens can attack you more than once, which really sucks. So that's a thing that happens. Now, if you get taken down, I've fallen and I can't get up, someone can spend actions on their turn to bring you back to life. So I do like the fact that you're not just out, you're just down for a little bit, and then someone can bring you back. So we talked a little bit about that. We talked a little about what defeating the minions. Perfect. I'm going super fast. I have notes, and we had a really good time with this. So I'm just skipping through all the things.
Right on.
So after you've done your round and your cleanup, adjusted any stats that you have, then you're gonna be able to buy from the market. Oh, my apologies. That happens after. Everyone takes their turns, and then you do the whole market buy based on how much money you have. And the market has those kind of sleeved cards, and some are more ability focused. Like there might be like an ability on the card. Some have more stats on the side, like more attack or more movement, things like that. So you can do based on what it offers you, the price might be more or less. So after each round, the villain moves closer to the Mud Canyon. And if we haven't brought the villain's health to 0 by the end of the last player's turn at Mud Canyon, and I quote, your bacon is burnt. I didn't say it.
Oh my goodness.
That's from the game.
Wow.
So quality of components overall was really good. Now the cards, I don't think that matters as much because they're in sleeves. So I mean, I'm not going to be as hard on it. They were fine, but they weren't by any means like the most amazing cards, but they're sleeved. So I don't think it matters as much. I think they came sleeved, if I'm not mistaken. So that was nice. Then,
well, yeah, because it's card crafting, right?
Yeah, but I've had some card crafting games where I've had to put the cards in.
Oh, got it. I got it. Yeah, I see.
Sorry, the starter decks. My apologies. The starter decks were sleeved already. So I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then they had acrylic standees for all of the characters, which was really nice. And usually you have to peel the little things off.
Yep.
Like, I didn't have to do that. So it was already done. I was like, okay. It sounds silly, but like you don't understand how annoying that is when you have like 10 of them to do or whatever, right? So component quality is really good. The game itself, I feel like we were struggling a little bit, to build up the character because we're like, oh my gosh, we can't hit the monster. Like you do it like 3 hits or 2 hits. I'm like, we're not going to win this game if we keep doing this. And then we realize you really have to spend the time to build your character. But you can do that differently. So I played with someone who was like, Mandi, like you really should don't tell me what to play. I said, you focus on what you're doing because he was like going strong and getting his cards and he always had a lot of money. I was struggling a little bit with the money at first, but guess what? At the end, I was flush with money. My cards were popping. It was great. So he started strong from the beginning right to the end. Like his hand was so good. Like he was able to get a mechanism going where he would like discard a card. Oh, I could pick that card back up. So his turn just like kept going. Do you know what I mean? So it was great. But I was also a little more chaotic, but was still able to match that energy in my way. So I appreciated that because nothing is worse playing a game where you can only do it one way. I don't like that. Not everybody thinks the same way. This is the way it is. Now we played on easy mode, like we played an easier monster. I'm glad we did that because we barely won, even though we were doing well. The 2 of us did well. The other 2 were struggling a little bit more. Yeah, start with easy first, just to get the flow of the game and to like understand how it works. And then you can progress to some of the higher levels. So I do feel like it's a bit of a slow burn to get that level. And then it just near the end, like those last 2 rounds, you really just give her. So it's doable, it's possible. And I do like that kind of way that works. Overall, I'll be honest with you, I thought I was going to hate this game. I'm being very straightforward. I saw the name of it. I was like, this is just really, bad pun, haha, silly, gimmicky. And we played and I was like, okay, why did we have so much fun playing this? So Ham Helsing, Suzanne, I actually think you would like this.
Yeah, I mean, the punny titles aside, I'm like, it looked cute. And the components do look very, very nice. So
yeah, and it's I like the vibe.
Yeah, all right. Alrighty. Well, in an absolute random coincidence, I'm also going to be talking about a card crafting game.
That's so funny.
So random. But mine is Ruins and a little less complex than Ham Helsing.
Fair enough.
Ruins is part of the All Play small box line. These are small, like 6-inch by 6-inch squares, maybe smaller, I don't know, 5 by 5. Square boxes that have almost universally been excellent, quite frankly. Ruins is a new design by John D. Clare. We have illustrations by Jake Morrison, and all of these small box games are like $19 US. They're very affordable. So here you have Ruins, being a pretty affordable card crafting game. So this is a card crafting game, and it's a shedding game. Shedding games are the ones where you're just trying to get rid of your hand. You're shedding because you're trying to shed your hand. So in this case, you know, Mandi, if you play pair of 2s, then I can get rid of cards out of my hand by playing a pair of 3s or a pair of 7s or a pair of 10s or a pair of 20s, that kind of thing, right? And then if I play a pair of 5s, you could play a pair of 7s over me. If I play, and then I could play a pair of, you know, that kind of thing until everybody passes and can't take turn, and then you start again. With Ruins, you have ruin cards, the base cards that range, I can't remember, 1 to 10 or 1 to 12, something like that. But you start on the daytime side. And at the bottom of the card, you can see the nighttime side value, which is on the other side of the card, just FYI. So you have the Ruins. They start in the sleeves, the custom sleeves that feel a little big at first because you got to have room to shove in all these other things. And then you have, I think they're called discoveries, which are a bunch of clear cards with different little bits and bobs on them. And as you progress, you're going to be getting these discoveries and slotting them into your Ruins cards that will change them up. Sometimes you're going to add an ability, or sometimes you're going to change the value of the card. And again, you're doing all of this in service of getting rid of your cards. You're going to play over 3 rounds, and you do track points. There's a scoreboard, and the person with the most points wins. There's a little bit of fiddliness with the way that it ends. If you've got 10 points, there's kind of a potentially a playoff kind of tiebreaker thing. But anyway, we'll get to that. All right, so you've got these things, and there are 3 color slots. So there's blue, pink, or yellow. And the nice thing about that is that it's very obvious that you can't put 2 blue cards in the same sleeve, right? You can't overlap. So you can have up to 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 pink improvement or discovery in the slots. That could be like +2. That means whatever value the card is, it's now 2 higher. So if I've got an 8 and I've got a 6 and I slot in a +2, now I have 2 8s. And shedding a pair of 2s is better than shedding 1 6 and shed 1 8, that kind of thing. The way that you get this is that there's a small market and everybody has 3 fire tokens or whatever, and that's your money, right? And so you've got these cards in the market, and you can say, okay, I'm going to play these, and then I'm going to spend these fire tokens, and I'm going to slot a discovery right away. What's cool is discoveries activate instantly. So in that same scenario where I play an 8 and I've got a 6, I could buy that +2 improvement, slot it, and play that as a pair of 8s instantly. There are also abilities that will let you refresh your fire tokens, or a card becomes a double value, or there's a fairly wide range of things that can do. And you start with these cards 1 through 12. At the beginning of every round, you get to flip one of your basic Ruins to the opposite side, which can come with higher values or more abilities. So all of a sudden, you could have a value of 32. You could have a card value 32 in your hand out of nowhere, and that kind of thing. So that's what you're doing. You are trying to create sets of cards, essentially, so that you can shed or discard sets of cards as you go, and earn points by going out the fastest throughout 5 rounds of play, I think. Or if somebody hits 10 points, you have a winner, that kind of thing. I really like this one. I think it's really good. Now, in a lot of shedding cards, you can often do pairs or of a kind, so 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, or runs like 3, 4, 5. Can't do that. It's only sets in this game, and that limitation is really important because of the way that the card improvement works. So I think that was a clever design choice. Even though it breaks from a lot of traditional shedding games, I think it works really, really well for Ruins. It is a lot of fun to create those combos. It's really actually very cool that the discoveries trigger as soon as you play. It opens you up and it keeps you really engaged about what you can do. You're watching that market. You're really hoping maybe that improvement sticks around, that kind of thing. There's also an element of skipping where if you and I play the exact same thing back to back, Mandi, it will automatically skip the next player for 1 turn. They can get back in, but there's a little bit of a little bit of punching, just a tiny, tiny bit that
Jabby.
I think worked over well in it. Worked well in it overall. So,
okay.
Like you just mentioned, the discovery cards all have that thin protective coating that you
Yeah.
got to peel off. That is on all of the discovery cards in the box. Is what it is. It's very standard for those kinds of cards.
Sure.
This custom sleeves that come are good. They feel good overall, but I did notice that when I was setting up the game, because the cards do not come in the sleeves, you have to set it up yourself.
Yeah.
I did split a couple of sleeves accidentally when I was doing that. They do include a few extras, so it's not a huge deal. I just, threw them out, but it's kind of like, oh, I've got 3 more sleeves left. What happens kind of thing. But
right.
After that, I haven't had a problem. What's interesting is a few split when I was setting up. I've played it like 5 times now, 5, 6 times.
Lot.
Actually, maybe more. Yeah, it's just because it's real quick and it's real easy to teach and it's kind of engaging. So the art is real cute. There are different little art details that don't really matter, but as you're building up your ruin, it kind of adds more visual interest and quirks and that kind of thing. So ruins, card shedding, card crafting, well designed. It's John DeClaire. John DeClaire is an excellent game designer, so I'm not surprised. It's charming. I really like it. For $19 US. I think you get a very satisfying game in a small box, and that's Ruins.
Now it's good. I'm trying to feel like if I've seen this game before, but I mean, it definitely sounds.
It's part of that all play. I mean, they have so many games in that line now. Right. Chances are you saw it, even if you don't remember it specifically,
Absolutely. But I mean, it sounds like a game that's totally right up my alley. So I'm totally here for that. And funny that we're talking about, card crafting, and then you mentioned kind of ladder climbing. Well, the next game I'm going to talk about, it's also kind of like a ladder climbing type game-ish. So this is Beasts. Have you played Beasts before?
I haven't, but it's by Clarence Simpson, and I've been wanting to try it. Oh my goodness. Yes. Wow.
It's very, spoiler alert, it's a very pretty game. Like the cool. art is lovely, and it has like those little bits of gold accent that really stands out. So I have to kudos to that. The art is fantastic. It's designed by Clarence Simpson, as Suzanne noted, and art is by Paulina Linjama, and it's published by Pandasaurus. It's for 2 to 5 players, plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. I'd say that's pretty accurate. And it retails for about $22 Canadian, and it's on pre-order. I thought it was out already. I didn't realize it was like super, super new, but in Canada anyway, it's on pre-order. Beast is a cooperative card game. Oh, cool. And you're trying to climb through a series of 3-digit numbers and transforming the current number by covering 1 digit at a time. This is one of those games where, have you ever had a game where you just didn't grok it the first time you played it? It's not a hard game. It's just my brain just like refused to understand it. I don't know why. So let's quickly go through how to play. So you're going to have a hand of cards, each player. You're going to choose a suit, right? And if you've played any kind of trick-taking game or anything like that, sometimes they require, or not sometimes, they do require to play a suit. So they have these beast cards in the game, and beast cards can be a challenge. But if you have any of these beast cards, you have to choose that beast card's suit. And if you have multiple beasts, you can choose from those which one you want to play. So you play all the cards of that suit, and there's something else in the game where they have cards that are broken cards. So they have broken and whole cards. That's a whole other thing as well. Okay. So this, when you play all cards of the suit, that's including broken, whole cards, beast cards from your hand, and you play them one at a time in the order of your choice. And the reason why this matters is because in the middle, you're going to have a 3-digit number, and you're trying to, I believe it's increase, if I'm not mistaken. The numbers you can't place a number that's lower than the number that's already there on each pile that you have. So you play all your cards, which can be a challenge, let's be clear. And then you have to like follow the rules, like I just said, when you were playing them, they have to be higher then. Draw cards and then back up until you have 5 cards. So sounds simple enough, right? If you draw beasts, you have to place them face up on the table in front of you, and it is still considered in your hand and counts as one of your 5 cards. So this lets players know which beast and suit will be played on your next turn, and then you can kind of help people plan in advance. So that part's not so bad, right? Mm-hmm. So you think. Okay. So we talked about placing the numbers. And so the cards you're playing can be played in any of those 3 spots that I was telling you. However, it has to, and this is where I even said it incorrectly at the top of the show here. Placing a card must always create a 3-digit number that is higher than the number that was there before. So if I had 273, it needs to be at least a higher number than that. Okay. Okay. So, remember your maths? Ones, tens, hundreds. Remember that. When you place a card in the tens place, okay, you don't have to, move all the cards to the ones place to discard this pile. This will leave a 0 in the ones pile. That makes sense?
Okay.
Okay. This is why my brain was struggling. When you
Yes.
place a card in the hundreds place, okay, you may move all the cards in the tens and or ones place to the discard pile. This will leave a 0 in either or both places.
Right.
Okay?
I'm with you.
Ways to manipulate it a little bit. Beasts above the board, so there are beast cards, remember, prevent you from playing cards of their specific type. So, for example, broken hearts or whole spades in the spaces below them. So this hinders how you can play in those areas. Okay? I won't go into any more too much details, but beasts, when we talked about those, have to be played out. Those broken cards, broken suits, are also a challenge when you're playing them because that will also hinder what you can play in those spots. Now, we also have discard tokens, and anytime you can spend one of those to discard any one number card from your hand, unfortunately not the beast cards, because sometimes if you have a run of cards that doesn't work to make that number bigger, it allows you to remove them. If you ever have cards in your hand and cannot play, guess what? You lose. All of us lose. Remember to use those discard tokens? And if all cards in the deck and all hands are played, all players win. And then our final score is the last 3-digit number played. That's your score. Yeah.
Wow. Clarence is wild. That kid, man. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. And now there are limitations on how you communicate. So you can't be like, I got this in my hand. You know what I mean? But someone could say, and this is an example that they give in the rule book, we should play all of our diamond cards or something like that. So just small hints. So overall, I had a struggle with this game. It's not difficult, but there's just some games where your brain just doesn't get it. That was me. I thought it was just me, but people in my group were also struggling. I don't know if it was the way that the person that we were playing with explained it, because I played it again. I'm like, I don't know. I like the game. I just feel like it's one of those games where it's not necessarily the easiest game to teach, even though the rules are not super challenging.
Yeah.
And I know we all have games like that where it's not hard, but it's just not. It's not in there. So this is where I'm a little player aid would have been very helpful for me. I think it does come with some, but for me, I probably would just detail it out a little bit more for myself. Again, this is a me thing. This is nothing to do with the game. This is a me thing. But if your brain works like mine, you might want to have the rule book or something handy just to remind you how the broken cards, the beasts, there are just a lot of little things to remember. So overall, art, gorgeous. Gameplay of the game, it's very interesting once you get a handle on it, and I think it's a game that people will appreciate. So Beast for me was a win, but it took me a minute to get there.
Interesting. Yeah. Sometimes Clarence also designed a word deduction game. It's actually one of the all play ones, and it was a little complex for me to jump on board with too. Learning it was learning the rule book. Was rough. So
so it's not just me.
I mean, some games you just gotta work to get. And
absolutely.
Whether or not it's worth it is TBD, right?
Absolutely.
I actually played my first play Galactic Cruise the other day.
Oh, you played it? I've been wanting to play that.
Oh my God. Yeah, you want to play it. It's real good.
And they have oh, never mind. I was gonna say something and I realized, nope, probably not the best time to say that.
Well, I mean, again, Kickstarter's not calling for a boycott. So,
I know, but it feels kind of icky.
Yeah, I hear you. So, but it was quite the learn, that kind of thing.
Okay,
but
good
it paid off anyway.
Sounds great.
All right, a game that is not hard to learn is the last game I'm going to talk about, Timber Town. Timber Town is a 2-player only tile laying game designed by Ryan Boucher, illustrations from Isabel Overturf, and it's published by Alley Cat Games, retails for $30 US. 2-player tile drafting and tile laying game. Beavers? Something about beavers? Beaver.
Makes
Everybody's
sense.
beavers. Cool. I mean, you know me and themes. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. Didn't really matter to me here, but I think part of the reason for that theme is the way that you're going to get these tiles. So each player, it's again 2 only, you're going to each get your personal player board, 4x4 grid. And then there are 4 placards, river placards, that have 3 spaces on them. And then there's a bunch of tiles. And ultimately, on your turn, you can take a tile and place a tile, or you can pass. There are some free actions based on little tokens that you can get throughout the game. And at the end of the game, you are going to score based on your personal player board and all the different buildings that you have based on the scorecards. And there are 6 different scorecards for each of the building types. There are scorecards for each of the individual building types. And I think there's like 6 building types. And the game does include variations on each of those. So you can really mix it up. It's a little like Tiny Town. It's a little like Tiny Town, where you have different cards and the same formation can score differently, that kind of thing. So a lot of variability in Timber Town scoring. The real game here, though, is in how you get these tiles, I think. So you've got these placards. There's 4 of them. Tiles will come out onto the back of the river, so they form a little river, hence the beaver theme, I think. And 3 new tiles are going to go out on one of those placards. Great. Now you can choose, do I take a tile or not? Tiles that are not taken, so that all these placards then shove down, the one in the front moves to the back, gets new tiles on it.
Okay.
And now you can take, well, any tiles that weren't taken have now moved forward. And again, any tiles that aren't taken, the whole river moves forward. The placard that's in the front moves to the back. That is reloaded. So now you have more tiles there. The reason why this matters is you can take a tile from any one of those placards on your turn. Doesn't matter. But where that placard is, that is the column on your player board. That tile must be placed. So they come out on the far right. Don't come out on the far right, but they come out on the far right. And if you have that column full, or if that tile doesn't work in that column for you, you got to wait. And then that slides over. Oh, now you can put it in the second column. Or I'm hoping Mandi doesn't take the tile that I want.
Right.
Oh
Exactly.
no. Or maybe you do, or then you're gauging that. Oh, wait a minute. Parks are going to score only if I get them in the corner. Well, I should take it now, or I don't have a corner, that kind of thing. The other intricacies in the game is that when you place a tile, there are like paths on the tiles, right? A little like any tile pathing game.
Yeah.
You have to line up paths. They can go off the edge, but you cannot put a tile against another tile if the paths are not connecting.
Right. Okay.
So that adds a little extra complexity.
Yeah.
That's the game. You're going to draft tiles, place them, score it by the end of the game based on the scorecards. But that drafting, that river mechanism of how those tiles move is great. It is excellent. There are a couple other nuances. There are tokens that you can get. Some buildings will give you a token. So for example, if you get a crane token, the crane, if you have a crane, it lets you break that column placement rule. You can place the tile you take. You spend your crane, you can place the tile you take anywhere on your board. Or a raft will let you reserve a tile. So it's like, oh, I really need that temple tile. Mandi, I know you want it too. I'm going to place my raft on it and reserve it. And then it floats down the river until it's where I want it to be. And then I can take it. That kind of thing. So Timber Town, I'll be honest, somewhat standard tile laying game. You got buildings, they score uniquely. I like those kinds of games in general. They're my jam. So I like that. But that river mechanism with the way the tiles work, figuring out the timing. Oftentimes you're going to see in a first game, a lot of people are going to be grabbing tiles early on and not let them float down the river. But then the one side of your board's full up and then you're hosed. So it's rewarded on repeat plays as you figure that out. And it is quite a clever drafting mechanism that really makes Timber Town stand out. That's Timber Town from LXXIX Games. I really like it. I think it's really nice.
Did you sing the song?
What song?
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. That's all I know. That's all I know. I was just itching to say it. All that to say, though, it sounds delightful. I think I'd seen this game, but if you're saying it's good, now I might actually try it.
Yeah, and it's 2-player, and I know sometimes that can be a challenge for you. But the tile draft, actually, your mumsy would
like
play
it.
This. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah,
You might
she'll
wanna use
probably and
more.
then talk about how she, spanked me. I'm like,
Yeah,
Mom, that
crushed
doesn't
you.
sound as good as you think it does.
Well, there you have it. Some of the games that we've been playing. Mandi, we're coming up on an hour, but it's not a show without dessert.
Absolutely. Eat some game pie.
It's that time, folks. It's board game dessert time. It's time for game pie. Loving this whole you all suggest the game pie topics. That's amazing. That's really working. Mandi.
Yeah.
What's the game pie of the week this week?
Again, this was brought to us from Robin on our thread, and it is Gaming Warm Fuzzies.
Did Robin define this a little bit more? Because
sure.
For you, that would be pretty broad, Mandi.
No, that's a fair point, actually. And again, taking from Robin here, things that aren't make or break, but nice little things you love to see in games or gaming spaces or anything related to board games. That's it.
So still broad, but a little honed in. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. That's really fun. And how nice is it to think about positive things in this space sometimes? So that's
right. I think we need that this week. So happy for it.
Lovely.
All right. Well, I'll just dive right in. My first slice of Gaming Warm Fuzzies pie is just, a good old size rule book. And you're like, what does that mean?
What does that mean, Mandi?
Let me tell you, just because the box is big doesn't necessarily mean that the rules have to be big. You know what I mean? And I just like a regular sized, like book sized rule book. And what a delight that makes me very happy when I see that. I'm like, this is great. I don't have to struggle and fold. It's like they read my mind. So good sized rule book. I am here for it.
I love it. I get that. For me, the first thing I wanted to mention as a Gaming Warm Fuzzy are individual player aids.
Ooh, strong one.
Oh, who doesn't like? So last episode, I talked about Toy Battle. Toy Battle, great 2-player game. Love it. They include one player aid that defines each of the special abilities and the icons. Oh, it's a 2-player game. Could I not have just one more, please? One more, please. And believe me, I get production costs and things like that. So I understand. Boy, I sure wish they would have included one for each of us. In any game where you have iconography or a series of turns or phases or anything that would help reduce the cognitive load of just processing the steps and let you focus on the game, I appreciate. So individual player aids, I love it when games give you that.
Very Oliver moment. Can I have some more, please?
Can I have some more, please? Just one more.
Just one more.
Just one more.
My next slice of Gaming Warm Fuzzy Pie is, well, I guess a usable organizer, a good organizer. I didn't really know how to phrase this.
Like an insert, or what's an organizer?
Yeah, so I should probably say that. An insert / organizer. So something that, usually when you get a board game, a lot of the times I just check out the insides and, throw them in some bags or whatever. But one that's like, oh, I don't want to throw this out at all. This is like organizing all the bits. Hey, yo, yes. And, sometimes they even let you take it out and use it as a tray. Ho-ho! You might have to pay extra for that. But just saying, it is a nice surprise when it looks organized. I can use it while I'm playing. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth and it makes my heart sing. So a usable insert / organizer.
I like it. I'm just going to take a sidebar here. One of the, as you just said, for some reason, the weirdest insert, like board game companies do it all different ways. Some have just the standard cardboard setup where it's real simple, or some people give you bespoke plastic things, vacuum form, whatever. The weirdest one I still think is, did you ever get Barren Park, Mandi?
Yes, I have. Oh gosh, yes, I remember that one.
For some reason, they give you the box and they have like a printed cardboard insert, which is fine by me. And then they have slats for you to put these cardboard barriers to segment the box. Again, pretty standard practice. No problem with that. For some reason, they were designed to be diagonal in the box. For like
horrors.
Like I did not. It was.
Yeah. It took a hot minute.
Certainly an unusual approach. I would not put that on the good organizer.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Sorry. I just
no,
that
valid.
trauma. Totally random thing. Very few people do this, and but makes it even more special when they happen. I love it when board game publishers have extra tokens on the board. Like, you don't need them for gameplay, but they're already punching them out anyway, so they let you just have extras, and they label them on the punch board. Spare tokens. You don't need them, but they're there just in case. I love that. It always makes me think that's a gamer making a game. They're giving you the spares, even though they don't need to, and they're letting you know they're spares right there and then. Perfect. Love it when they do that.
That's nice, and it's identifiable, so here for that.
Perfect.
Very cool. The next one, I don't know, this just might be a me thing. Game mats and accessories. Okay, I never thought I'd be this person because I'm like, I don't need all the extras. But if you're watching the video, you can see that my nails are not short. And this might even venture, I don't know, to people who may actually, struggle to pick things up outside of long nails. But having these kinds of accessories to make it easier to pick up cards or to hold cards or to organize cards or things like that when you're playing, I just find it so thoughtful and delightful. It just makes it easier. And I don't have to go, hey, Suzanne, can you help me pick that card up there? I'm not bothering other people while they're thinking about their gameplay. So game mats and accessories for me, I mean, if it ties into the game, even better, but that really helps my experience when I play. And I'm excited for that.
I get that. Roth, the area control game that you recently spoke about, they have that nice.
That was fabulous. Yeah.
All right. Kind of tied to your good organizer thing, Mandi, is when you have a good organizer or a lot of components and you have this bespoke or insert or organizer, I love it when games include a well-sorted, visualized components list. And I realized I was talking about organizer and I was going to go somewhere else with it, and I ended up going differently, and it has nothing to do with it. But anyway, I love it in a rule book, folks. By a thread I'm hanging on right now. I love it when a rule book has a really well-sorted visualized components list, so that when you're setting up the game, they're like, oh, take the activity card and take the treasure deck. And you're looking at the cards and they don't show you what it looks like what do the back of the cards look different? I don't know. I love it when they take the extra step to show you, this is the archive deck, this is the artifact deck, this is the discovery deck, and you see the card back and they show you an example on the front. These are the, here's the tokens. Here are the 5 types of tokens and what they each individually look like in the components list and how many you should have. Not every game does it, and I love it when they do.
Yeah, and to be fair, I feel, I was going to say, a lot of games I'm noticing are removing components lists sometimes.
It's one of those things, some games are doing the thing where they give you an image of the game set up and then numbers, like this is this or that.
Which I like. But in addition to.
Mostly works, but when it doesn't work, because you're like, I can't tell which cards those are, I can't tell what tokens are, it's a little bit annoying. So.
Give me both. Just give me both. All right. Well, my last slice of Gaming Warm Fuzzies pie. Cute components. You know what? I like looking cute. I think I look quite cute today. And sometimes I just like playing a game where, the little people are cute, or, oh my gosh, it's pink, or whatever. There's something in it, or whatever's cute to you. It doesn't have to be pink, but I'm just saying. I like things when they're cute. It makes me happy. There are a few games that come to mind where I'm like, it's a good game and it's cute. Hello. Absolutely. Yes. So for me, cute components, that just makes my day all day, every day.
I totally agree. Board games are a tactile, visual experience. So having something that you visually enjoy is important.
Absolutely.
Speaking of visually enjoying, my last slice of Gaming Warm Fuzzy pie. Fuzzy pie are probably 2 words that shouldn't be that close together, but oh well.
It's moldy. We don't want that.
No, exactly. Inclusive art. There are a wide variety of settings and themes in games nowadays. And hey, you know what? If you are doing a hardcore game about monks in Europe in the 1200s, maybe it's not going to be the most inclusive game visually. And you know what? That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. You don't have to shoehorn diversity. Oh. But there are so many games that what is Newsfjord? Newsfjord's a good example. Uwe Rosenberg, Euro game, slightly heavier, fishing. Hey, you got women fisher people in there too. Not just hey, thanks for that, right? Or games that are kind of the theme is broad, making, when you can have somebody that has a visible disability, or when you can have somebody that's visibly of a different ethnicity or a different gender, things like that. Yeah. I enjoy it. It makes it more interesting.
Absolutely.
And it makes it feel better. And who knows, maybe you've touched somebody who feels like they're often excluded. A good example of that is, the game topiary.
Mhm.
Tile laying
Yes.
game about topiaries, and you had meeples for your people to mark columns and rows, and one set of the meeples were in a wheelchair. No reason for it thematically, but
What?
there was no reason also thematically not to include
Exactly.
a wheelchair meeple. How awesome was that? I loved it. I don't personally use a wheelchair, but I still thought it was awesome to see it there. So inclusive art or inclusive bits, I love that in a game. It makes me feel very warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, people love to be acknowledged and seen, and I mean, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
There's a pretty wide range of warm fuzzies.
I think so.
But I also know there's a lot more. And I have to admit, I was a little late. I did get last episode's thread posted, but I was a little late. So I didn't get a chance to check it to see if people chimed in on the last game pie topic either, because that would be really, really fun, right? Because it was so broad.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
Gaming from your real life, right? Games that reflect your real life non-gaming interests. So please chime in on Board Game Geek on that thread. I will get this thread up as well. And I want to know what your gaming fuzzies are as well. If you're talking about gaming fuzzies, just go back a thread and tell us about your real life interests as well, because I want to see them both. So do that. That's on our Board Game Geek thread. So that's Guild 4131 on BoardGameGeek.com. Or you can always email us, saltandsassgames@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts, your game pie ideas. These game pie ideas are working out great. Keep those coming. I love it. Or chat us up on the socials.
Yes, you could be watching us potentially right now on YouTube or the Twitch, and we're there at Salt and Sass Games. So that's Salt and Sass Games. You can also find us on Blue Sky. We get a little professional there, and we're just Salt and Sass. You can find us there at Salt and Sass. And if you're ever looking for streams, that's a really great place to check what we're up to. So check that out. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at 613 Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm at 425 Suzanne. Next episode, Mandi, it's going to be a big one. We're going to have to figure out how we want to sort it out, because it is spiel time, baby.
And I realize I'm going to have guests over, so this is going to be wild.
It's going to be, that's okay. We're going to make it work. But next episode is going to be dropping right before Spiel starts up. And so, of course, Mandi, we got to talk about all the amazing games. Like, we may go, I don't know, like Game Pie heavy.
Yes, that does shorten some other things.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that next episode. Until then, thanks for being here, y'all. Thanks for putting up with us, and thanks for giving us game pie ideas and sharing your game pie thoughts as well. We appreciate you. Thanks for making us part of your extended gaming family and for being part of ours. We will see you next episode. Until then, just take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay hydrated and play a lot of games. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.